All right, it's time for my week in review for the first week of June 2016, transitioning into the moon Masamsota, the long rains. It's raining tonight, actually, evening of June 8th. This is supposed to be my Monday week in review, but it's not Monday, it's Tuesday, and it's pretty late on Tuesday, actually. It's almost Wednesday. And this isn't going to post till Wednesday, but what the fuck. So, where did we leave off last time? Oh, the title of this week's review, Mika joins our family. That's going to be the big story. And of course, I'm going to save the big story till the end. But let's go back. Go back to the end of last week. And at the end of last week, what was going on was sadness, bad things. Our elder Alan Pard had passed away, and yeah, just kind of left on a sour note and everything like that. And the very next day, my Jeep dies. I'm out at one of the downtown patrols for the security company I work for. And I made sure everybody left the building, all the employees who I was guarding. Then I got in my Jeep to start it up and go, and nothing. And actually, when I opened the hood, I've been having problems with the battery. Actually, since last winter, the battery's been kind of slowly petering out, I think. And on humid or wet days, it had some problems. I'd had to boost it several times recently, like have somebody hook up with me with booster cables and all of that. And but this day wasn't starting, not a chance. And actually, the tops, the little covers that go over the battery cells, just like burst off. So of course I like exaggerated this. There's just these little covers that kind of popped off, right, when I tried to start it. But I told everybody my battery exploded, right? Made it sound like a really big, gigantic deal. But I did have to replace the battery. I did have to have my vehicle towed, and after the tow and the battery replacement, I got new cable ends put on too, because my cable ends were all corroded and all this stuff. It cost me over $300 basically to deal with this issue. And this was, right at the beginning of the month. And this is when I'm feeling like, like Mahoney's check comes in. She works at the university. So everybody at the university, they only get paid once a month. They get paid on the last day of the month. And they have to, make it stretch and all that. In fact, if you're working at the university, you're expected to be really good with your money and to have lots set aside anyway, and so you're not living paycheck to paycheck. This is why they don't get it every 2 weeks. They get it once a month, right? So it's kind of a shitty deal if you're still doing the paycheck to paycheck thing, which we are. So Mahoney had just got her paycheck, and of course our rent comes out, not our rent, but our mortgage comes out at the beginning of the month. And then on top of that, I got like this injury insurance that I signed up for a few months ago. That comes out. And then, feeling a little bit ahead still, we got a little bit of money left from her check, feeling like we can buy groceries and this and that. But then this happens with the vehicle, and $300 may not seem like a lot, but if you got like $600 in your bank, then $300 is ouch. So yeah, it's like, I've been beaten up by the universe. They've taken our elder, and now they like stripped us of our money too, what little bit we had. Whatever. I just kept trucking, right? So a lot of my week were my a lot of the things that I did this week were just totally work related. This is kind of why I didn't even get around to producing the video yesterday, Monday, when I am supposed to. Like, I want to produce them every Monday, but I felt like I didn't have anything to put out there. I did, but I didn't realize it. So most of my week was taken up just working. It's actually a photograph that I took of myself with my iPhone this evening. This is what I look like right now at this moment, sitting at this table in my Under Armour boxer briefs, with my long black socks and my security t-shirt. I'm on duty tonight and working at the apartments, and it's sweltering in here. It's been a hot week. The days have been mostly over 30 degrees, and this is nothing if you're like from Louisiana, the kind of sweatiness, or if you're from Arizona, the kind of heat. But for here in Alberta, everybody that's kind of acclimatized to like I am, to running around in below zero temperatures, 30 degrees plus is hot. So I'm sweating tonight. I got I had to put the baby powder on my balls, keep them from sticking to my leg, that kind of thing. I know, TMI probably, but this is the way it goes. Like, very, very sweaty, sweltery tonight. It feels like to me, and these apartments, they just are a heat trap, right? So lots of hot. I've been at this apartment pretty much all week. I had 2 nights off. Yesterday night and the night before I had off. And the only reason I had those off is because our company lost a big contract. We had a contract out in the rural areas, guarding a couple of compounds, some oil company compounds, and it was enough work for that to employ like 4 guys full time. They were doing 12-hour shifts, 4 on, 4 off, and 2 guys a night, 1 on each compound. And we had the contract, a week, right? And then the other day, we had a new guy out there, and he decided to do his patrol in a vehicle, driving around the outside of the compound through farm fields and just basically wrecking crops, right? So he did a bunch of damage, and so they decided, all right, we don't want these morons working here. That, and the second night we were even there, I say we, I'm just referring to the company because I wasn't there. But the second night that our guys were out there, the place got robbed. How did that happen? I got no idea. But somebody snuck in, stole a truck from one of the compounds while the guys were doing whatever. I have no idea. So the mounting ineptitude caused the client to shut down that contract, and so now everybody's got to kind of share hours and this kind of thing. So I had the last couple of nights off. I was really glad to have those nights off. It's hard on me. I feel like when I've had too many nights in a row where I'm not with my family, like I just was dying to just climb into my own bed with my wife, with Mahoney, and have a nice regular sleep and everything like that in my own bed. Over here at the apartments where I've been working, things have been escalating, continuing to escalate. We had a night with a lot of gang violence here. There was a gang outside on the lawn, about 9 guys, throwing glass bottles and stuff up at one of the tenants' balconies, who's in a rival gang kind of a thing, and it was a big show. We had to have the cops come over, this kind of a thing. There was a young girl who was staying at a foster home about a block away. She ended up in the middle of the night climbing underneath a truck, and I don't know what she was doing under there, but early in the morning when the guy came out to go to work, he just run her over and dead. She's dead. All this has happened around the apartment, and every day there's more and more gang-related stuff, like the gang tags and stuff like this all over the apartment complex. On the upside, though, the kids here, great. I've been having a good time playing with the kids out on in the courtyard, and they all know me by name. When I come to work, they're all Ryan, and I get high fives, and everybody's happy. I wish their parents were that happy, but their parents are not. It's not a nice place. There was one of the nights I was here, just before I had my days off. Must have been Saturday night or something. There was two girls fighting in the stairwell, just like not far from my room, from the room that I use as my office here, and I didn't even hear them. I don't know if I was out doing a patrol somewhere else or if I was in here like catching some Z's or what, but I didn't even hear them fighting in that stairwell. And it was on YouTube, and it was pretty rank. I had copied it onto my, or it was on Facebook. I had copied it onto my Facebook page, but apparently it's been taken down since, so it's gone now. But the one girl like Spartan kicked the other one down the stairs. And then the one that's laying at the bottom of the stairs is like, "Are you serious?" Right? And so she gets up, climbs back up the stairs to get her ass beaten some more by this other girl. It was pretty rank. So yeah, that's right here, like right outside my door. That kind of stuff is going on. I try to have good humor though. I often find interesting things, drug paraphernalia and this and that as I do my patrols. One night I found this bottle, and I sent a message to my supervisor. I said, "You left your bottle here the other night on the lawn." The anti-flatulent, just to fuck with him. Yeah, I try to have good humor. There's no reason to get pulled into the darkness, it's too easy to get pulled into the darkness, and I think that's what happens to cops a lot of time is they're around this stuff so much that they let the darkness in, It's not a good idea. So I don't forget to laugh. So that's what I've been doing at nights. During the days, I've been working back at Fort Whoopa, where things are starting to kind of shape up on the gallery. This week is a big push to kind of get the gallery ready. We're going to open to the public on the 21st, which is here in Canada, it's called like National Aboriginal Day, which is just another ploy to hide the special nature of that day in its phenological sense. Of course, the 21st of June is the summer solstice, right? And so rather than worshiping the sun, we're going to worship being Aboriginal. So it kind of pisses me off. Every new holiday that's come up with for hundreds of years now has been a human-centric holiday. We got Memorial Days and Veterans Days and President's Days and Queen's Days and Father's Days and Mother's Days and this and that fucking day. We got all these, this history month and that history month and this celebrate. We're really like celebrating ourselves And in the not so distant past, we didn't do that. Human beings didn't just celebrate ourselves. We celebrated the natural cycles and life, that came through food and these kind of things. We celebrated harvests. We celebrated, you know, animals doing the things that they needed, that they're supposed to do in that season. Like we celebrate the salmon coming back up the river. We celebrate the bison, mating. We celebrate, the berries being harvested. We celebrate the solstice, when the sun is the closest it's going to be to us all year. And the sun is the giver of life. So this is when we're going to open the fort, so that we can, so that instead of people paying attention to the sun, they can come down to Fort Whoop-Up. And there's going to be entertainment and shit. They don't have to think very hard, right? So, but anyway, my friend Margie here is coming along with her map. It's getting ever closer. My gallery itself, I've been able to flesh it out a little bit. I had a delivery of animals this week, taxidermied animals. So I got the eagle catcher fixed up with the actual eagle, and I've got a coyote skin up there that's kind of substituting as a coyote bait, but also at the same time hiding the base of the mount that came with the taxidermied eagle. I've got a coyote in my buffalo scene, in my buffalo mural, that's looking pretty good. Of course, again, I got to hide the base here. I'm gonna put some soil over that base so that you can't see that coyote's mounted on a board. Today I put up a 9-foot teepee in the gallery. The panels that I wrote were constructed now professionally, and so they should be, they're already here. We should be putting them on the walls tomorrow, the next day. It's a busy time down at the fort, and but things are coming along, and I think the gallery's looking nice, and I'm looking forward to making a video of the nearly complete product here come the end of the week or so. Same time, during the days I'm being called out away from the fort almost once a day to fetch some rattlesnakes. So this was a rattlesnake I picked up yesterday. Big female that I found in one of that I was called to pick up from one of the neighborhoods that I don't normally get called to here in West Lethbridge. It's an older neighborhood and kind of far removed from the coulees, but the snakes are still making their way in there. And I think, West Lethbridge is running out of, no, it's not running out of, but it's about half filled now with subdivisions, so the farm fields are slowly starting to, or fairly rapidly actually starting to disappear. And so the snakes are going to more and more be encountering people. So it's that time of year, getting lots of snake calls. I had one today, but wasn't able to fetch it because it was underneath a concrete slab at the University of Lethbridge. So I have security cordon that off, and I told them they need to patrol it once an hour or so, find the snake out basking for me, and then I'm happy to come over there and pick it up. So I've been doing this. When have I been sleeping? What's sleep? I don't know what sleep is. Been trying to keep my fitness and keep myself in some shape. So I did a few different runs this week, and doing my barefoot thing down in the coulees. This run that I took this picture from was actually this morning. Went on a 9-kilometer coulee trail run. Barefoot, of course, with my stick. I love to carry my stick. I'm not losing any weight. I'm 179 pounds, just at the cusp of that 180, that 180 that I really don't like. And I got a little gut here, like you can probably tell from this. I'm not thin, right? and I'm about at least 15 pounds over my real healthy weight, and all of that is in the stomach. All of that is in the gut. Um, so I've been tracking my calories, and of course I go way over on my calories every day, right? Even with my running and that kind of thing. So all of it's in the diet. Like that's what's screwing me, and probably also not getting enough sleep. Right, without enough sleep, plus a good diet, um, my health is not going to be optimum. But I can try to shape that up. Of course, the diet part, the sleep part is tough with all the stuff that I'm doing. I've had friends that have been really kind of pushing me, trying to get me to just quit doing security, because it's so hard on the body, you know. And they can tell that a lot of times I'm not as happy as I would normally be, and I'm just not feeling as healthy as I would normally be. And but I don't know. Right now, we need to be paying the bills, and this is the only like full time steady work that I have is the security stuff. So until I can find a replacement for that, I need to keep it going. So anyway, I've been doing some running, and I did one run that was there was a race they call the Coulee Cactus Crawl, and that's a totally like wild trail run. It's just up and down and up and down and up and down the hills in Lethbridge. It's more than a half marathon. It's 30 plus kilometers, but not quite a full marathon. And you can do it solo, or you can do it as part of a relay team. So I've always had a team. I've done this race now 3 times, and the team changes in constituency a little bit every time. I was recruited onto the team. They call the Hellish Hill Harriers because their 5th member one year was absent. So I got recruited on, and since then, I've been steady with it. But we've always been missing one person or another. So this year, our new member is the lady you see in between myself and my friend John here. Alexi, I think is her name. And I just found her on Facebook. I just put a post up, that I was looking for a runner for our team. And somebody responded, my friend would want to do it, and this was her. So we ran, and we did pretty good, not too bad. 4 hours, 19 minutes, which when we're talking about the kind of altitude gain that we do, and on rough terrain and all that, we didn't do too bad. And looked at what all the other teams were coming in at. We came in, mediocre. We came in like not really on the low scale, not really on the high scale, kind of in between everybody. So it was fun, and I did it barefoot, and I'm pretty sure I've become the very first person to do the Coulee Cactus Crawl barefoot in Lethbridge, which is a nice kind of thing for me to be able to claim. A lot of people were asking me the day after, how's my feet? And I'm like, well, my feet are just the way they always are, right? Because this is not new to me to be running barefoot out here on the Coulee trails. I do this fairly often, but people can't understand how I can do it without hurting myself. Really. Well, they're all hurting themselves with their shoes and all that. But had a lot of fun. And so now we get to the crux of this week's excitement, which was the adoption of baby Mika. Baby Mika, who was a baby magpie, obviously. A little fledgling. Somebody had picked her up, and brought her home thinking that there was something wrong with her because her feathers are so short in this. They thought she was injured. So they picked her up, brought her home for several days. Were, trying to take care of her, feeding her the wrong thing, trying to give her bird seed and this kind of stuff. and and then they contacted me, asking me for advice on how to care for her. Through the grapevine, they found me. A lot of people know that I'm the bird guy, right? So they found me, and so I was giving him advice, and pretty soon, a day or two later, the guy's like, well, I'd like to just give her to you because I think she's going to be more happy, at your place with the other birds. She's a social animal, this kind of thing. So I was happy to take her, and actually, we were kind of hoping, really, Mahoney and I, that we would get another magpie this year. We get birds every summer, corvids, crows and magpies and jays, that are injured most of the time, brought to us as rescue birds. We try to take care of them, and a lot of them we end up having to keep. Some of them die. Some of them, like the injuries, can be too bad to, like, we did have another magpie already this season that was with us for a few days, and it didn't make it. But Mika is very healthy, and we were kind of hoping for a magpie because of everything we went through with Derek and his pond far this year. Our pet magpie Derek just went nuts this year, and this year he laid some eggs too. And he so badly wanted a mate. So badly. So, kind of had it, in our minds. We talked about it, Mahoney and I. Gee, wouldn't it be nice if we just got a healthy little magpie fledgling brought to us this year? That could end up being Derek's mate. And lo and behold, we got one. And it's like this for me in life. I think, a lot of times, all I really got to do is, I'm laughing because it sounds funny. It makes me think of that book, The Secret. It's the secret. All you got to do is think it, and it will come true. But in some ways, it really does seem like that in my life. If there's something that I really want, that I've got in my mind, it tends to happen somehow, right? Tends to occur. If I want something and I focus on that desire materializes somehow. So we were wanting one of these little magpies, and sure enough, here she is, little Mika, and Mahoney calls her Mika, and Belle, my niece who's still staying with us, calls her Mishka. So she's got at least 3 names, all of them fairly similar, and she's a little character. She's already starting to get around and explore, and we have to feed her. She begs for food. She doesn't feed herself yet. But she is starting to explore and walk around the house and this kind of thing. And Derek, we were hoping that Derek might take to her right away, but he hasn't. He's been a jealous guy. Very upset that we're giving a lot of attention to this little baby bird. So Derek's been spending a lot of time with me. Mika's been spending a lot of time with Mahoney. Mahoney's been taking her to work with her, because, she has to be fed, so she takes her to work, and she sits with Mahoney at the office, and very cute little magpie baby, but really the focus of our life this week has been all on her and her needs and stuff. When you got a baby bird, you got something to do every 20 minutes. And I don't get to sleep. When I get home, like I get done with security here, 4 o'clock in the morning, I go home, I kind of cool down. By the time I get in bed, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I've already set out some food for the outside birds, taking care of the crows inside, giving Derek some worms, giving Oscar some worms, because daylight, dawn light is coming in at 5 o'clock already. And then I get into bed, and then, every 20, 30 minutes, Mika's calling for food, and I got to get out of bed and feed her. So, not a whole lot of sleep going on with me. But that is life with babies. So, that is my weekend review. Let's see. Uh-oh, yawn bomb. And it's only 10:48 here p.m. I got several hours. I got 5 hours still to go here, so already doing big yawns. Gonna have to do something to take care of that. Actually, I usually take a little bit of a snooze between patrols in the late night. Do a patrol and sleep for 40 minutes. Do another patrol, kind of a thing. Not supposed to, but it's part of my. It's also, part of my agreement with my supervisor that if I'm going to have so many days on here, and I can't juggle the other responsibilities that I have, then I need to be allowed to catch a few Z's, and that's okay with him. So probably when I sign off here, I'm going to go do some more patrols, then maybe come back to the room and see if I can catch a few of those winks. Anyway, that's my week. We'll see if I am able to get another one out by next Monday.